Hey everybody, thanks for joining me on this upload. Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a good day. I just wanted to show off a new project vehicle that I just picked up in Kalamazoo, Michigan, which is about a half hour from where I live, or I'm sorry, an hour and a half from where I live. So let's do a walk around. We're starting at the right rear corner panel. Just gonna get a good walk around here. Like I said, I picked this car up in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Sorry about the lighting, it's terrible in here. I'll open the doors in a moment. But I picked this car from Kalamazoo, Michigan. It's got 147,000 miles on it. It's a non-turbo, 3 liter of course. 5-speed manual. And I was a little upset when I went and picked it up because the guy didn't tell me about a lot of the details of what was wrong. Not that what was wrong with it, but what kind of condition it was in. So I was a little upset when I got there. And, you know, he had not mentioned a lot of stuff. So first of all, when I got here, or when I got to his house, he had taken forever to send me an address after we agreed on the price and agreed to meet that day. He's like, I'll get back to you in 10 minutes. It took him 3 hours. So I was a little upset about that because I wanted to get it done in the morning. And then when I pulled up to his house after I rented a trailer and, you know, things like that to actually get it, to actually pick the car up, the passenger, or the driver's side was completely smashed in, which he didn't mention in the post. He also didn't mention that the fuel tank wasn't even in the vehicle, and that the car wouldn't start. I couldn't see it run when I bought it. So the kid that I bought it from, he was asking $500, I believe. He was asking $500. I talked him down to $375 before I left. And then when I got there, I was like, you know, there's a lot of things wrong with this that you didn't mention in the post. Had I known about all these things before I left, I wouldn't even have come to see the car. So I talked him down to $300. It cost me a couple hundred to rent a trailer and drive there. So I figure $500, you know, for the car, the travel, all those things seems pretty fair. So I did end up picking it up, of course. But there are a few issues, and I guess I'll go over those. I'm going to open the doors real quick so we have some better lighting, and then we'll go over some of the things that it's going to need. He didn't tell me that the fuel tank wasn't in the vehicle. I got there and he had the fuel tank in the hatch with a bunch of miscellaneous parts. So I was a little upset about that because, you know, I was hoping to get there, start this thing up. He told me it ran, you know, for $500. I was hoping to get there, run it, see how it is, everything like that. He had pictures, but they were very vague pictures, and he only took pictures of the passenger side. So I didn't know anything about the driver's side till I got there. But anyway, also, let's see, what were a few things? The windshield's cracked all the way across. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but it's all the way across. That wasn't in the post. The T-tops leak like hell. That wasn't in the post. The antenna's missing on the thing there, and that wasn't in the post. It leaks water, of course, into that area, and created a lot of rust. The interior is actually in really good condition. I had to clean the hell out of it when I got it. It was like unbearable in there. It smelled like cigarettes and all those things. The engine bay is in really good condition. Everything's like there. Nothing's broken. It runs. It definitely runs. I've already driven it around the block a few times. The only other issue is the rear subframe bushings are trash, and when you go from, you know, using the clutch to letting go of the clutch, you get an insane fucking movement in the rear end. So at first I thought it was the U-joints, and then I got under there on it with it on jack stands and figured out that it was actually the rear subframe bushings with a pry bar. I went under there and figured that out. There was no battery in it. I started it there with another battery I had with me and some starting fluid. Got it running. The fuel gauge doesn't work. The fuel sending unit doesn't work, I'm assuming. The fuel pump works. He had just replaced the pump but never put the tank back in. So I got it home and I put the tank back in, and thankfully it ran. So for $300, I don't think I did that bad. But at the same time, you know, it's going to need a lot of work. So the main things though are the engine kind of seems to hesitate at higher RPMs. I'm thinking that it's got a fuel problem, fuel restriction of some sort. Seems like at the top end it is, you know, not getting enough fuel. Also the rear subframe bushings, but that's really the only things that are keeping me from driving this car. So really it's not that bad. It's missing the fan shroud, but that's the only thing really missing. Everything is here. The original factory radio was included, but it was in pieces, so I'm obviously not going to put that back in. But everything's okay in the interior, to be honest with you. It's really not bad at all in the interior. The driver seat belt doesn't work. It's like jammed. He took all this interior paneling off to like look at it, I'm assuming, and didn't put anything back on. The driver's side window doesn't move. The window seems to be off track because you can hear the window regulator and stuff moving, and then the window will drop, but it doesn't drop with the regulator. So the speakers in the back are gone. They're not even in there anymore. The windows, somebody resealed the windows and left the rubber coating all over the place in there, so I tried to wipe it, but it's not that great. Like I said, the interior smelled like cigarettes really bad, so I bought one of the Meguiar's car bombs and put it in there, and now it smells really good in there all the time, so I don't have to worry about that. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it, guys. I'm really excited to do work on it. I'm really excited. So when I get to the point where I can start ordering parts, which will be in the next couple days here, I'm gonna start ordering parts for it, and then get it pretty much back to stock condition. And then I've already researched where I can find all the turbo parts to swap this over to turbo, including an engine. So in a local junkyard in my town, there's a auto yard that has actually an 87 turbo, and for the engine and the harness and all the things that I need to make this turbo, he wants $600, I think. But I figure for $600 I can't turbo this car. So to me, it's a really good deal. I don't think it's that great because it is used stuff, and I don't even know that the engine works or runs or isn't locked. I haven't really looked at it yet. All I know is I went to the junkyard, I saw the car, I asked him how much he'd want for certain parts, and I got a price on it. That's about it. But, so, it does run, like I said, it runs pretty badly. It has some issues in the top end. It doesn't want to really rev. When I brought it home, the power steering belt was completely flipped upside down. Like someone installed it. It's a V-belt. Someone installed the flat side of the V-belt upside down. So it was squealing terribly when you ran it. So I flipped it over and figured out that the power steering doesn't actually work at all. So I'm not sure what's up with that. You can tell because it's a heavy steering, but all the hoses and things, they all look in good shape. I mean, they've probably never been replaced, which isn't a good thing, of course, but they're all there, and it is in running condition. They didn't lie to me about that. So all the lights work, the headlight actuators work. None of the vacuum lines seem to be in that bad of shape, but I'm going to replace them all with colored lines later on anyway, like red or blue or whatever. I'll get a whole spool of that stuff, but yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to make a video showing it off, before I start doing things to it. Hopefully you guys can see that. But yeah, so it's obviously at its stock height right now. The rear wheels are squatting. That's how most of these 300ZX sit, because the rear end suspension is probably bad. So it's going to get all that stuff. I'm probably going to end up doing coilovers and then lower springs, of course, in the rear, because well, actually, I think they make a coilover kit for all four corners, but the struts on the 300ZX are built into the knuckle, so you can't just buy a strut kit or a coilover set and replace it. You actually have to cut the cup at the bottom of the steering knuckle and then weld on a cup from the kit that you buy, and then you can install the new coilovers. You can't just buy bolt-on coilovers for these models. They just don't make them anywhere. So, but anyway, guys, I hope you guys are excited for this build like I am. I'm going to be posting hopefully at least one video a week about it. The next step that I'm going to do is probably getting like a tune-up, a basic tune-up done. Plugs, wires, cap, rotor, some seafoam, and then also spraying out the MAF sensor and getting things like that cleaned up, because who knows, the last time this car has had a tune-up, let alone, cleaning of the MAF sensor, plug change, things like that, throttle body cleaning. I'm going to do all that, so hopefully you guys can stick around for that. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.